You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. You ain't gotta check on me, I'm... Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh, your shirt says how you holding up.
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Yes, miss. I'm
yes.
brand. I gotta represent.
I love it.
Yes, miss. Yes, miss. Great day. Great day. You are now tuning into How You Holding Up, the podcast. I am your host, Brooklyn Boone. Today, like any other time, I have a very special guest. Can I say friend?
Yes, absolutely.
I want to say friend. I'm also going to throw in sister.
Yes, let's do it.
I'm going to throw sister in there as well. Miss Kwamara Thompson. Miss Kwamara Thompson, you wear a lot of hats, right?
I do, my brother, yes. Absolutely.
And from what I know, you are an educator.
Mm-hmm.
You are an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Philanthropist.
Yes.
Creator of one of the largest networking hubs here in South Florida.
Oh, I appreciate that.
And you are an economist.
Yes, that's a new one. So I'll talk a little bit about why the economist label is coming on board.
Yes, I would love
I'm
to.
really excited about that piece. Yeah.
My goodness. How do you do it? How do you manage all of these? Like, how do you balance all of these things, all of these titles? And you're super active in the community. So because I know that you put in the work, it's not just titles. For those of you listening and watching, she actually is out here, boots to ground. Like, you see the spikes on her. So she's really doing work out here, benefiting everyone, not just herself. So I can definitely say that you're not selfish about it.
That, yeah.
So how do you balance work life?
I wonder if work-life balance is getting a little cliche.
Okay.
I'm passionate about the work that I do.
I see that.
And so to me, when you're passionate, it's not necessarily work.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, you can't pour from an empty cup, mm-hmm. right? And when I was younger, I was always on the go, moving around everywhere. Having 3-4 jobs, going to school, doing this, doing that, right? Building businesses. And now I've hit a certain time in my life where I'm like, I need to slow down a little bit. And during the pandemic, I was managing a team, a remote team all across the United States. And we actually won some award. I won an award for being one of the top managers in the United States.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I did something kind of radical that people were like, what are you doing? Mm. But I've been reading these articles, and it was basically slow down in order to be more productive. Mm-hmm. So that's what I started to do with my team. I was like, listen, we've been doing stuff at a rapid pace. Mm-hmm. Let's chill. Mm-hmm. Let's relax. So we would go to meetings when I decided to have meetings, and, and I cut down on a whole bunch of meetings. And we would start off with like yoga and meditation. And then we would talk about like some of our favorite recipes. Mm-hmm. Or I would have people send me like their favorite song and the song they're listening to. When we start the meeting with songs or end the meeting with songs. Okay. And then we just had 10 or 15 minutes worth of work that we needed to just get to. Boom, 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 boom. When I tell you that the team ramped up, they were happy. They were feeling positive. They were feeling connected. This is during the pandemic. They're feeling connected with one another all across the United States. And it made me realize there's a lot to be said when we talk about the human first. And that goes with us first. We have to do self-love, right. Show humanity to ourselves, show grace and empathy to the people that we're working with and for. And I'm not saying this is perfect science. Sometimes I definitely am running myself ragged, okay? Right. But I try to be very intentional about taking those moments where I'm like, F it, I'm going to just rest. I'm going to just chill in my bed. I'm going to just sit on my balcony. I'm going to read this book. I'm going to veg out on TV. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. It is what it is.
Wow. So you said a number of things in there, and I do thank you for... I want to first acknowledge the question, because a lot of us don't even know what work-life balance is, but in your words, when you enjoy what it is that you do, you don't consider it work.
Yeah.
Right? So you're more purpose-filled is what it sounds like, what it seems like. Okay, beautiful. You said that you focused on the employee or the colleague first, right?
Yeah.
And you got them ramped up. For me, and I've realized this, it was an observation as I self-reflected a few years ago. The more excited I am about something, the more confident I am about it. Right? So that's exactly what you implemented in those individuals. And I'm pretty sure that they enjoyed working with you, for you, alongside you, and everything. And you said you were a manager at the time. You were managing them, right?
Yeah, managing teams. You know, when you have a business and you have
Mhm.
a team, one of the things that people forget is that you also have to learn managerial skills.
Right. Right.
You know, you need to know how to manage. You need to know how to be the coach. You need to
Mhm.
know how to be a true leader. And a true leader is someone who understands human beings, who understands the science of why people work, how people work together. How do you build your winning team?
Mhm.
Um, there's a reason why the U.S. has the dream team. There's a reason why I'm totally dating myself. There's a reason why the Chicago Bulls are one of the best,
Yes,
you know,
miss.
NBA
Yes,
teams,
miss.
you know, during the league. There's a reason why there are teams who feel really dominant in a
Mhm.
lot of the leagues. Why is that? It's because they've been able to figure out how to coalesce together and to
Mhm.
work on their strengths at the
Mhm.
same time. So when I think about what it means to manage or what it is to build a team, especially as someone who is building a company, who's an entrepreneur, oftentimes when I'm mentoring, that's one of the things I talk about.
Mhm.
How are you going to manage your team?
Mhm.
Do you know what you need your team to do?
Mhm.
If you don't have a clear role responsibilities, if people don't know, okay, am I the shooting guard? Am I the point guard? Am
Mhm.
I the center? Am I the forward? If I don't know what position I'm playing, it doesn't matter how amazing they are.
Right.
You're not using their talents to the best of their ability. And then what happens if you have a team full of all power forwards? Is that team going to be good?
I
No,
don't think
because
so.
you need people of different skill sets
Mhm.
that complement each other. So
Mhm.
you've got your power forward, but okay, now you need your shooting guard. Now you need your point guard. Who's going to run the team? Who's going to run the plays?
Mhm.
You know, so you have to start thinking in those ways. And I think a lot of times we forget those puzzle pieces.
Mhm.
And that to me is a science of humanity, it's a science of understanding people. I will say I do have a bit of an advantage, right? Because I'm an educator.
Mhm.
And I understand brain science. I understand the science of learning.
Mhm.
But we don't stop learning just because we graduated high school or we graduated
Right.
college. We are
Right.
still adults who still need to learn, who still need to feel rewarded, who still need to feel supported. And so I'm always thinking about what are the ways that we play to your strengths,
Mhm.
that we allow for your strengths to shine on the team. I believe in shared leadership. So yeah, I'm the quote unquote leader, I'm the manager, I'm the owner, I'm the entrepreneur, but we're all in this together. So we
Mhm.
all have opportunities to share our leadership skills and really hone in on those skills that make us great and shine. And then if we have weaknesses or quote unquote challenges, how do those challenges get met by other folks? So I'm
Mhm.
not a fan of like you have a challenge and you need to work on the challenge. Maybe
Mhm.
if you want to, if it's something that is important to your own personal growth, we can talk about that. But more so, people have strengths, so I'd rather just play to people's strengths
Mhm.
than worry about coming up with ways to um, maybe gloss over or circumvent those challenges, for lack of a better word.
Mhm.
I don't know if I made sense there, but I can
Ma-
get really passionate about this
and
kind of
and
stuff.
and that's exactly why we're here. That's exactly. And speaking of here, we are currently in the mother-daughter
Yes.
establishment that you and
Yes.
your mom has um, founded, funded, and also created together.
Yeah.
JT Workshop is this space that is hosting this conversation, and I want you to expound on that just a little bit. But you said a lot of things, especially with the basketball analogy. I am one of the many literatures that I'm currently reading is Who, Not How.
Mm.
And in the beginning of
Ooh.
that book, have you read it?
No, but it sounds like something that would intrigue me.
I definitely think you should read it because as soon as you crack the book open, right? um, Michael Jordan, you mentioned the Bulls.
Yes. Yep.
He is one of, if not the greatest athlete individually, right? Now, Michael Jordan's, according to the book, right? Michael Jordan, his first 6 seasons in the NBA, he made it to the playoffs, but he was getting dogged by the Pistons. You know, that time was
Yeah.
brutal, right? So it was just Michael Jordan. The 7th year, they hired Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson realized Michael Jordan's strength, and what did they do? Created the triangle offense.
That's right.
We're gonna get you the ball. We're gonna this and that. Though it started working, it still wasn't complete, right?
Mm-hmm.
The following year, they drafted Scottie Pippen. Now, Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson, now they have Scottie Pippen on defense, and also to help attribute to the success of the triangle offense and the Bulls franchise, right? So it's not how can we accomplish this, but who can help me accomplish this? So who, not how. And when you have, and the book is about delegating.
Yes.
So everything that you just said, we can have a team full of power forwards, but that's not going to help us advance to where it is that we want to go. Right. So we need point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, and then a center. But not only that, but we need managerial positions. We need coaches. We need owners. We need, so it all plays up to what it is that you said.
It's a whole team.
My goodness.
Lord. Yes.
My goodness.
I definitely need to get that book, man. Who,
yes.
Not how.
Is by Dan Sullivan.
Okay.
I'm going to share the link with you.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yes. So, that was a lot, right? I know. But nonetheless, please do tell us, tell them about JT Workshop.
Yeah, so JT Workspace.
Workspace, pardon me.
No, that's okay. So one of the main things that I want to talk about is, and those of you all who know me are going to get to know me through this podcast, I 100% believe in wealth and generational building. And the way that we do this is ownership. So entrepreneurship is a way to own something, but real estate is another way to own. And so I bring that up to say that our family owns the building of which the business is located. And that was really important to us because we see that people can create amazing businesses, having a great following. But if the owner of the building decides, for whatever reason, they no longer want to honor the lease, so you don't get your lease renewal, that they're going to kick up rent prices or leasing prices, and you're doing great business, but you don't have enough cash flow to pay for that, or you're always operating in the red. You're always in debt to your landlords, or you're always in debt to your vendors, etc. That puts you in a very precarious position. And so you've done all this work around a business that you own, but you don't actually own the land in which it sits. So then what happens if you no longer have that piece of real estate and you have to move on to something else? Then you have to get people to move along with you. And we know how difficult that can be. And so it was really important to us that we owned the building first before we even thought about what kind of business we wanted to put into the building. And so, as I was mentioning, this was a building that had it's a multi-unit building, and there was a tenant on this side, and the tenant decided that they wanted to go elsewhere for lots of various reasons. Their lease was up, and it was time for them to move on. And so we came together as a family, and we were like, what do we want to do? Do we want to lease this part again, or is it time for the entire building to just be businesses that our family runs? And we decided the entire building would just be businesses that our family runs. And so that was the premise of the foundation for JT Workspace. The name JT comes from our last name. So Jackson is my mother's maiden name. Thompson is my dad's last name. Me and all my sisters, we are Jackson Thompsons. Nice. And so I put my name on it. You know Walmart, that's Sam Walton. You put your name on it. You know Rockefeller. You know the Orange Man. We all know Trump, right? Like, so I'm about to put my name. You got to put your name on it. I'm gonna own it. So it's JT. So you're gonna see a lot of Jackson Thompson running around out here. Okay. There we go. We're building real legacy, but this is a part of it. So the workspace is a community space where entrepreneurs can come, where obviously you can come and you can collaborate. We have a Meet the Author event here, which is something that's near and dear to my heart as well. I'm an avid reader. I love reading. I love our stories. There's oftentimes we don't have a platform as Black folk to share our stories, especially as authors. And so there are so many local talented authors here in South Florida who are published. And so we started highlighting them on Monday evenings. And so our next one will be Monday, January 27th with Dr. Donna Lindsay, and we'll be highlighting two of her books.
Mm.
And so every once a month on a Monday, come here. You can support our local authors. They do a book signing. You can purchase their books. You can get them, and they'll personalize it and sign it for you. And then you hear from us. You hear our stories, and we can support one another. Like I said, this is co-working. We've had private events here. Corporations come. We have workshops coming out. We're going to be starting a course called Flip Your Paycheck. So that's another way that we're going to be helping people build some of their foundational wealth. And let me be clear, it does not matter how big or small your paycheck is, there's a way for us to flip it so that we can make your money work for you. So if you're interested in that, definitely come. We're going to start that in February. I'll give you the exact date so you can put
Oh,
it in the
please
show
do.
notes and
Please do.
everything like that. But yeah, so this is a community space. Out back, we're gonna start putting a community garden, a community mural will be out back, and some family movie nights. When we go outside, you'll be able to see this big wall. We can project movies and stuff. And so, really, we want this to be a space for the community to come in. And you can move the furniture around. We can make it be whatever you would like it to be. If you have a vision and you're looking for a space that's very economical, you can definitely hit us up, jtworkspace.com.
And there you have it, man. If I don't see why a person or persons wouldn't want to support or be a part of collab or partner. For the people is something that I'm big on, and
Yeah.
and as I continue to live life, I'm starting to understand the importance of it.
Yeah,
Right?
that's good.
You mentioned real estate and putting your name on it. I just recently watched this movie documentary, The Founder, about McDonald's,
Okay. I never
and
saw it.
oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, okay. I
So
gotta look at that one too.
so when you say, owning the land and then having your business on top of it, super important. They brought in I forgot the gentleman's name, but he franchised some of the McDonald's, and when he realized he wasn't making as much money as he should, or because he seen the vision for McDonald's, he brought in an attorney, and an attorney was like, hey, look, you can own the land. You don't own McDonald's, you're a franchisee for it. But if you own the land,
Mm.
you can then make the money that you see bringing it in. Now you can upcharge on rent, on a lease, et cetera, et cetera. And as you're speaking, I'm like, yo, this is real life.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's just so much.
There is so much.
There's so much.
And let me just say, there is you'll see now if you follow any of the sort of work trends that there's this huge movement about people returning back to the office.
Mm.
And we could say, why do they want people to return back to the office? Is it so they can micromanage? Maybe there is a little bit of that.
Mm.
But the real reason, in my opinion, why they want people to return back to the office is because those office buildings are leased. And as we know, there's a 1% out here. So their friends are like, we need you
Mm.
to bring people back to this office so that we can continue to lease our offices so
Mm.
that these buildings can continue the people who own the buildings continue to make money.
Mm.
That's why it's so important that people return to the office, because if we don't have an office, then there's no need to own office buildings.
Right. Right. Makes perfect sense to me.
And these corporations are like, we need people up in here.
Right. So you you're super active, right? When I say super active, you have businesses over here, you have partnerships over here, you fundraise to help others with their business, right? Why do you do these things? Because we know what we do things for, right? Especially in an entrepreneurial space. Most people understand what they do it for, but not many of us know why we do things. So if you can, Kwamara, and I'm pretty sure you can, tell me, tell them, tell us what is your why? Why do you do all of these things? Why are you so involved with helping others be better? And not only that, but also why are you so focused on the generational wealth aspect as well?
Well, let's be clear and let's just say what it is. I'm focused on Black people.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Okay. I'm focused on the Black community in particular.
Hmm.
Our families built this country,
Hmm.
built the wealth of which everybody um, has eaten off of except us.
Hmm.
And so, why do I give back, or why do I create these communities? It's because of that. It's because of the knowledge sharing. It's because I want us um, to disabuse ourselves,
Hmm.
stop lying to ourselves, stop believing what the oppressor tells us, that we are a people who can't come together,
Hmm.
that we are people who are always broke. We are actually a people who not only built this country, but the Black dollar is the most sought after dollar
Hmm.
in the United States. And I would actually say maybe probably even in the world, but certainly in the United States. But the problem is we have been taught to be consumers.
Hmm.
And so, what I'm trying to do in my small way is change that mindset from consumerism to ownership.
Hmm.
So, don't allow people to kick our grandparents off their land. They buy the land and then they rent it back to us. And
Real
let me
estate.
tell you something that's about to happen right now. Right now, while we're in the middle of filming, we've got the LA fires that are happening,
Hmm.
which everyone is focused on Malibu and the Pacific Palisades. But we have a Black community that has been decimated called Altadena.
Hmm.
And let me be clear that investors who do not look like us
Hmm.
are trying to figure out how they can eat off of this. This happened in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. We have seen this playbook. And so, what can we do as Black folk to stem that tide and to come in and, as a community, to save our community and make sure that we continue our ownership? Let's Break Bread is the community that I built here in Miami that you're a
Massive.
part of.
Massive. Thank you for
And
having me a part of that,
yes, absolutely. And
actually.
I'm so glad that you are and that people are finding value in it. Let's Break Bread started from this saying that I always had, and I've had this saying for 20 plus years. I eat, you eat, we eat. We all eat together.
Hmm.
So let's break bread.
Hmm.
Okay. So if we can ensure that Altadena keeps their homes and their ownership, they keep their ownership, then we get our ownership and we all own stuff
Hmm.
together. And this comes to the economist part. So I've been really focused now on creating these economies where we take the Black dollar and circulate them within our community. As it stands now, the research says that the Black dollar, do you know how long the Black dollar stays in the Black community?
Not long.
Not long.
Right.
It stays, I think they said like half a second,
Hmm.
really, or half a minute.
Wow.
But when you think about other communities, Jewish,
Hmm.
Asian, Latino, it circulates in their communities several times. High, like 10 times. So that means that they send their money to their other communities, the local bodega,
Hmm.
their local landlords, their local businesses, 10 times before they even think about spending that money outside the
Hmm.
community. We don't do that.
Hmm.
There's a lot of reasons why that happens, right? We know Black Wall Street, we know the white terrorism that has come upon our communities decade upon decade. So there's a history of why it is the way that it is.
Hmm.
That being said, I think that there are lots of ways that we can shore up and ensure that the next economies that we build are safeguarded.
Hmm.
And so I've been doing a lot of studying on what that looks like, not just here in the US, but what that looks like from a global perspective,
Hmm.
what that looks like from an indigenous perspective. And so we're going to be talking about of that quite a bit. So this is another thing I have. I have a Housing for All campaign.
I seen that.
So if you go to housingforallcampaign.org, Our podcast had 7 episodes that's talking to you about how you can use government funding to get your monies to buy property, whether it's your first property, whether it's a real estate investment property, whether you're an entrepreneur and you get commercial property. Okay. So if you're an entrepreneur, getting commercial property is actually one of the best things that you can do. And then the last few episodes is about how do we protect our assets? How do we make sure that after we've acquired these things, we have them in perpetuity and that they can actually be passed down to our generations to come and our progeny? But it's about making sure that we have a shored up foundation. And unfortunately, in the past, I don't think our foundation was as sure as we thought it was. Now we're going to really, really anchor it. And so that's the next iteration of our Housing for All, is really about how do we come in as a community, protect people's lands, ensure that our grandparents don't lose their lands anymore, that we don't lose our lands anymore, and then put the legal structures in place to ensure that no one can come after our land. So that's the economist part. I told you there was going to be something different.
We all have just been consulted free of charge, right? So if you have any additional questions or just questions, please, I highly advise you guys to definitely contact Miss Kwamara JT Jackson Thompson, because she's talking ownership, and a lot of our people, as we mentioned, we lack ownership.
Yeah.
We can have a vision and it falls short because we don't know how to get to the next level. We don't know where we should begin.
Yeah.
Right. And you did mention that you mentor as well, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. Is it just you, or do you have an outlet for that as well, where there's a number of people like yourself mentoring others?
Oh, that's a good question. For right now, it's just me mentoring. So I have a select number of clients that I work with, because to your point about time and making sure that my time is sacrosanct. And the thing is, I don't, there's no platform or a team of mentors because I'm me.
There you go.
And people want the relationship with me.
Right.
Right. That's not to say that I couldn't train someone to be me, but they'll be themselves too. Yeah. They'll have a different flavor.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't mean that that's bad or indifferent, but most of the people who come to me want to work with me
one-on-one
directly.
I get it.
One-on-one.
I get it.
So along those lines, I do actually have space for a couple more mentees, but I do try to keep my mentee class a little bit small, and we work on sort of like a quarterly basis, unless you want more time than that. But,
and that's because you want to be able to give your full self. You want to actually be able to provide them 100% you in that moment, right?
That's right.
I totally understand that. So with everything that you have going on, how you holding up?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking. I'm human, so there are moments where I'm like really, really high. Life is great.
Right.
And then there are moments where things are stressful, where things are low. When you have so many things going on, you feel responsible for a lot of stuff, right? And so that can stress you out. I try not to be stressed though, because stress is a huge killer, especially for those of us in the Black community. Stress, racism, I mean, there's lots of things that are huge killers. So I try to do a lot of woosah. But that being said, there are definitely moments where, life is life and I'm like, you might not see me for a little bit, right? I might take a back. I don't know if you've noticed, I actually took a little bit of a step back from Let's Break Bread. I wanted to see how people could do things without me, without my input, and to see how it organically rolls. So that was one reason. But the other reason was I need to step away just for a minute. So I'm doing it. And then when I feel like I can step back in, I shall.
So what's the recovery process for you like? Like how do you recoup when you step back? Because it's easy to say, and like you said, in pandemic, you stop inserting yourself as much as you once did for the first half of your life, right?
Yeah.
So what solution do you have that you see works for you or is working for you that you can share with myself and also others?
Just on a consistent basis, I'll say a couple of things. I
Mm,
don't schedule back-to-back meetings anymore.
mm,
That's a no. So I used to just pack my calendar. That's not happening. I
mm,
will always take a good 30, maybe even a whole hour in between meetings so I can decompress, so I can relax. I ease into my day,
mm,
so very rarely do I jump up and start working. It's
mm,
a very much let me ease into the day. Let me, go out on my balcony. Let me do a little thanks that I'm alive another day, that I can
mm,
see this beautiful sunrise. I wake up early. I can do this beautiful sunrise. It's very important to me to be around people who I love and who love me back. So I
mm,
do a lot of things to nurture those relationships. So that's, to me, that's almost, if not more so, important than even the work that I do. Is to have a um, a community, a tribe that I can always fall back on if things are really too much and I really need to talk to someone, or if I
mm.
just need, like, yo, hey girl, listen, just meet me out for a little drink or something. Like,
Right,
I don't
right,
want to
right,
even
right,
talk about what's going on. I just want to
right.
kiki
Mm,
and sit back, right?
right.
We need those moments. I love to take a bath, so
Nice.
you know,
Shout out to
with
all
my
the
little
bath
Epsom
takers.
salt, I got my little pillows in the back. I love to cook. I love to read. So the things that I like to do,
Mm,
I try to do them pretty consistently throughout the week.
okay.
Even if life gets busy, even if I can only cook one day out the week, then fine. But at least I did one day out the week.
Mm,
So I try to find those moments. But I do put a lot of stuff in my calendar. I even calendarize my times to relax, which say, like, do
mm,
not disturb, like,
mm.
don't disturb me, don't, so it says it literally on my calendar. It's even a reminder for myself. Okay, do not schedule anything during this time. It's your time. Do
How
not disturb.
obedient are you to that?
Look at
Ah.
this. See, let me ask you to spoken like a true entrepreneur over here. Over here. Listen,
Yeah.
I did say I'm human.
You
So
did. You did. You did. You did. You
you
did.
asked for tips and tricks, so I'm giving them to you. Do as I say, not as I do. No, I'm kidding. No, I actually do try to be pretty mindful about those things.
Mm,
Though I will say, in some regards, I'm not as disciplined as maybe I would like to be. But
mm,
then I just think to myself, you know what? I'm doing a lot.
mm,
And it's okay if I didn't do this thing that I accomplished. One of the things I have realized that I've been doing much more of when I talk to people,
mm,
we don't do this a lot, is reflecting on, like, all the amazing things that we have already done.
mm,
We just do stuff, and we
mm,
just keep it moving, keep it
mm,
moving, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Even when we're relaxing, we still just keep it moving. We're not even thinking, like, man, today I impacted these lives,
mm,
or I did XYZ today. So it's actually okay
mm.
if all I want to do right now is just relax and watch investigative discovery. Yes, I like my true crime. Uh, but like,
Right.
that's okay.
Right.
And not being so hard on ourselves on the
Mm.
ways that we think we should walk through the world. I read something today. Actually, it might be, if you don't mind, it might be
Oh,
on my
please do share.
Instagram
Please do share.
story. I'll just share it really quickly. I didn't think about it, but while we're talking, I put it on my story because I thought, hey, other people needed to hear this, but it was also for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I put so much stuff on my stories, and now I'm going through it to try to see where it is. Hold on one second, everybody. My apologies.
While you search it, as you were speaking, there's an analogy, a parable, as Jesus puts it in the Bible, about working as an ant, because
Mm,
and please don't be don't get it misconstrued. There is nothing wrong with working hard, right? But when you overwork yourself, then some you do have to realize that, yo, I'm taking a toll on my body. Of course you have goals, but you also have to allow yourself to rest and reflect and see what it is that you're doing, so this way you can recalibrate and see, all right, let me see the results, let me see the progress and things of that nature. But the parable speaks on an ant, right?
mm,
An ant works hard, but they work smart to
yes.
store up for when the wintertime comes. So they work hard during the summertime, so when wintertime comes they can store up and they have enough. But they work hard, they work smart, and they work together. So what was it? Do as I do it.
Do as I say, not as I do.
There we go. There we go. So did you find a post?
I did not,
Okay,
but
that's okay.
that I think is essentially what we're talking about. But this does remind me of someone of another uh, uh, post that I had saw that basically was basically saying, you know, as human beings, very similar to bears, we're supposed to like go out and do our hunter gathering in
Hibernate.
the spring, summer, and fall, but really in the winter we're supposed to sort of relax and just
Hibernate,
chill
right?
and hibernate. And the post that I was talking to was basically referencing the same thing, that as human beings we were never supposed to work this hard. Yeah, we work hard, but we're all supposed to rest hard, right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Work hard, play hard, rest hard. We were supposed to do all of those things.
There you go.
And that's in this capitalistic society, especially here in the US, that's where we exalt people who go, 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 go. Oh, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I don't go to bed till midnight. Like, okay, I mean,
Right. You stayed up longer than me. All right.
okay,
Congrats.
congratulations. And what did you actually accomplish in those 20 hours? I mean, I don't know.
Right.
But you know, if you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling like you're not enough, if you're feeling um, anxious, if you're feeling stressed, we're not supposed to live like this.
Right.
So we're going against our own natural rhythm. And I know that, you know, changing a whole society is very difficult. But in those moments, on your day to day, your week to week, your month to month, your year, if you have the opportunity to schedule around what your sciatic rhythm is, I think that's important. So, like, one of the things I learned about myself, which I was shocked to learn, is I'm really a morning person. I get up early in the morning without any alarm clock. I'm up 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock. Doesn't mean that I want to like run off and go do work,
Right.
but I'm awake. And my body is ready to, like, you know, just ease into my day. And then I like to have my meetings in the morning. And then, you know, in the afternoon, I can like concentrate and do like work, the stuff on my computer. And then I can network in the evening. And then by like 8 or 9, I want to be back in my house, relaxing and like winding down my day. I've realized that about my rhythm. And so I try to schedule my day so that it's like that. You know, it doesn't always work, but that's the idea.
What is your best quality as a person, in your opinion?
Oh, I think, in my opinion,
I know it's a lot. Try to narrow it down to one.
Okay, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna narrow it down to one, but I will say this: I live and I believe in 3 currencies, and that is knowledge sharing. So us right now, we're doing knowledge sharing. I've learned from you. You've learned from me. We're learning blah blah blah. Knowledge sharing. Empathy. I believe very much in giving people grace and being empathetic, and understanding people's situation, and love. It is 100%. And I guess if I had to pick out of all those 3, it would be, I feel like I'm a loving person. And by loving doesn't mean that I'm kumbaya, you know, everybody's an amazing person. It's not that. It's that because you're a human being, there is just a natural way that I believe in interacting with you, or because you're an animal or a plant or you're part of the natural order, there is a love for the way that 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 nature is ordered, that I appreciate and understand. And when I talk, especially to students, when they ask me what is, you know, well, what's some advice I have for them or for my younger self, I'm gonna say this to you and to you: self love. If you cannot figure out ways to love yourself, you will never, never, never be able to love anyone else. And when you don't have love for yourself, you are a broken person, and broken people break things. And I think we live in a society where the majority of people are broken, which is why we see so much negativity, destruction, anger, evilness.
Malice, rage,
Malice,
bitterness,
rage, bitter. I mean,
pride.
the whole
the whole
shebang.
Yeah.
So if we don't practice self love, and if we don't understand that, I think we are going to be very lost as a society. Lord, you got me all up into my philosophical.
No, it's okay, because as I expressed to you, that is the basis of how you holding up, right? Because it stems from learning how to love, because love covers a multitude of sins, as the Bible puts it, right? And all of the characteristics, the currencies that you just mentioned, those are all the requirements Jesus tells us to live by, right? Because if we can love people, we can overlook certain things. We can be a lot more patient, a lot more empathetic.
Yeah.
We can share knowledge. We can break bread together, right? We can teach each other the different things, and we can also raise up a generation to do the same exact things that we have implemented in our own selves and our peers and everyone else that we come across, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's very imperative that you do learn how to love yourself. If you don't know what that looks like, I suggest that you look in the mirror.
Yep.
Right? You take it all in. It may be something, and I get it. The world forces some, if not most, if not all of us, to be insecure about whatever it is. Bank account, physicality, mentality, whatever it is, right? It forces us to be secure. Pick something, right, that you just like about yourself. Start with liking yourself first, right? And then eventually, gradually, you will learn to love yourself. And then when you learn yourself, as Miss Kwamara just said, you then can learn to love others, right? Because it's extremely hard to love someone else but not yourself, because now you're bending backwards for them. Now you're nice instead of kind, right? So boundaries are super important when it comes to that, right? But nonetheless, like yourself first, and then you'll learn to love yourself, is my advice.
I love that. That sounds great.
Miss Kwamara Thompson.
Thompson, yes.
I'm gonna say that over. Miss Kwamara Jackson Thompson.
Yes.
It has been a pleasure speaking with you.
Pleasure's all mine.
Learning from you.
Thank you.
We had we'll talk about that on another segment. But
okay.
Nonetheless, can you please reinform everyone listening and watching, just what service you provide, and how, if they are interested, how they can reach out to you and where they can reach out to you at?
Yeah. So if you're looking for a venue space, a place to collaborate, to host events, to do workshops, to experiment, to pilot, or just a place that feels like you're home away from home, you can go to jtworkspace.com. There's a form on there where you can reach out. There's an email. You can go ahead and reach out to us directly. If you want to just hit me up, and we have an Instagram and a LinkedIn, JT Workspace, for both. You can also find me on Instagram, Kwamara Denise. That's KWAMARADENISE. And I'm always happy for folks to hit me up on the DMs, as long as it's professional. And I'm happy to swing back to you. But yeah, if you're looking for a mentor, you're thinking about, hey, you want to figure out ways that you can acquire assets or protect your assets, really thinking about the foundation for building your generational wealth. I am 100% would love to walk on that journey with you. So feel free to DM me on Instagram, or you can find me on LinkedIn, Kwamara Thompson.
And there we have it. Another conversation in the books. It's been a pleasure being here. JT Workspace is phenomenal. You guys definitely, if you have some availability, even if you don't, if you're in the South Florida area, please do check it out. And yeah, until the next time.
Till the next time. Peace.
How you holding up? Make sure you ask somebody and mean it. Empathy, right?
Empathy.
There we go.
There we are.
You guys take care. Till the next time. She got Brooklyn Boom. Talk soon.
You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. You ain't gotta check on me, I'm holding up. Used to ask the question, was I dope enough?